Who has the best personality in YouTube golf? I have my power rankings from 1 to 10. Welcome to a new video. If you're new to the channel, I'm Dougie. Thank you so much for stopping by. And I'm just really excited to talk about the YouTube golf space, not from a skill perspective, but from an entertainment and personality perspective today. In the spirit of YouTube golf, I am sipping from one of my favorite mugs here. I don't know if the autofocus is working. You can see that. Purcell Farms, one of my favorite spots. Been there multiple times. Course is beautiful. It's an amazing destination. So highly recommend checking out Purcell Farms. Without further ado, let's jump into the best personalities in YouTube golf. Coming in at number 10, we have the one and the only Segudo Golf.
Do you know how much coordination that takes? It's a darn near miracle that you can even hit a golf ball doing all these things.
If you're not familiar with Segudo Golf, you are missing out. His instructional videos are some of the most entertaining in the space. He's got a cult-like following because of his personality. Tom, I believe is his name, curly, bushy hair, good golf swing, but he just has a way of communicating that's very entertaining. So Segudo Golf, shout out to you at number 10. Moving down to number 9, we have the sandbagger himself, Mr. Luke Peavy.
I just have to let the windows down, just get back to, lukewarm. Sorry, that was a dad joke. Sorry, even though I'm not a daddy.
I've been watching his content for a little while now, and I actually had the chance to see him play a little bit in person and meet him at the Good Championships in Arizona recently. And I gotta say, he is exactly what you see on his channel. The guy just has this way about carrying out his business that is very kind of light. It's very positive, and he's got a great sense of humor. So shout out Luke Peavy of Sandbagger Golf. Number 8, we have, now we're getting into some meat, okay? Well, that sounded weird, but you know what I mean. Now we have Wesley Bryan of Bryan Bros Golf.
There's good news and bad news. Bad news is there's a chance that I hit the driver not very well today.
If he gets confident, you guys know he's gonna start chirping a little bit.
But the good news is I don't have to drive it good to beat you, so I'm not super worried about it.
Wesley, I'm putting him on this list because I think that he is a YouTube golfer because of how much he appears on the Bryan Bros channel. If you haven't seen Wesley play much on YouTube, well, I don't know that I could consider you much of a YouTube golf fan, because Bryan Bros are some of the best content creators out there, and Wesley and George just have this dynamic that is very fun to watch. Brothers just ribbing each other, and Wesley is one of the best chirpers that I've seen. He just always finds a way to get in other people's heads. If you think about it, he's a guy who's so good that he could just let his playing do the talking, but he doesn't. He hits you with the double whammy, the 1-2 punch. He's gonna roll in putts, he's gonna get up and down from everywhere. And then on top of that, he's gonna be getting in your head and chirping you on the tee and reminding you that you just hooked one left on the last hole.
Wesley got in my head and said I could land it short, so I tried to land short. I should have landed it there.
So shout out Wesley Bryan. And I believe they are hosting a tournament in South Carolina coming up. I don't know if it's called the Bryan Bros Invitational, but that sounds about right. So shout out to them and what they're doing. At some point, I would love to meet them and see this chirping up close and personal. Number 7, an OG. Well, yeah, I'd call him an OG in the golf YouTube space. We have the one and only Mr. Short Game.
What'd you say? Tito's on the rocks? You're fired.
Mr. Short Game is also a guy who I had the chance to meet out in Arizona at the Good Championships as he was playing host for much of the tournament. I really admired his content for a while. Tell me if you've ever thought of this after watching his content. Does he remind you at all of Michael Scott? He does for me. He really does. Very similar type of sense of humor, in my opinion. Just has a funny way of communicating and going about his business. Really like watching his stuff. Very, very entertaining naturally. So shout out Mr. Short Game at number 7. Coming in at number 6, we have Quadzilla himself, Micah Morris.
Gosh dang, it took a long time to get my ball done, didn't it? 232 for me, I got 4 iron.
Micah is a guy who is funny without trying to be. He doesn't know his left from his right. He has a lot of sayings and quips that just kind of come out and stumble, and it's kind of like a clumsy type of humor. I definitely get it and I appreciate it. So Micah Morris is someone I really enjoy watching, and there's no better pairing in the YouTube golf space than a hot cup of coffee and Micah Morris. So shout out Micah Morris, and I believe it's Morris Coffee Company, maybe. So
today's video with you, which is brought to you by Morris Coffee. I'm sipping on a little bit of that as I'm gonna.
Shout out Micah. Coming in at number 5, it's getting a little bit toasty. The pot is getting a little bit hotter. We have Garrett Clark.
I think they are. I think they're bent grass greens, which I love. It's like back to our roots. And they're small greens and tight holes, which I really do like tight holes. So I think we're in the right spot.
Yeah, we are.
There's nobody who is quicker to come up with one-liners on the fly than Garrett. If you watch the good videos, if you watch his channel and his matches, he's as good as anyone at always finding a way to relate golf to, let's just say, another activity. And I also just know that he's the glue that holds good together. His personality is what makes him mesh and gel with so many different people. He's the personality that makes it all possible at good. So big shout out to Garrett. I also had the chance to meet him briefly in Arizona, an awesome guy. So number 4, woo, now we're getting a little excited. We have Joey Cold Cuts of Bob Does Sports.
Topped it. Whenever he's walking like that, you got to catch him, Jed, or else he's going to burn you.
That's out.
This game gets my blood bubbling like you wouldn't believe, Jed.
Today, as of the date of filming, it is June 28th, 2023. I believe yesterday was Joey's birthday. So Joey, if somehow you end up watching this video, which I highly doubt, happy birthday. June 27th, I think, is your birthday from Instagram. It looks like yesterday you were sharing a bunch of stories. So very fitting that we're talking about Joey Cold Cuts after he's just been celebrated for his unbelievable personality on Instagram, with a lot of people sharing clips of Joey Cold Cuts. This is a character. You know that someone has a big personality when another creator can post a series of videos just impersonating them. And that's what has happened with Joey Cold Cuts. I don't know if you follow Bear Down Cuz. He's a member of the Brilliantly Dumb podcast. He does an unbelievable Joey Cold Cuts bit.
It's your boy Gutsy here, and today is weigh-in day. Being honest, last week your boy was getting after it a little bit, the boys and the fellas. We were over there at Champaign Pumpernickel Country Club Ridge.
I would do it, but I would completely butcher it, so I'll leave it to the pros like Bear Down Cuz. Shout out Mikey V. Joey Cold Cuts is one of a kind. Now we get to number 3 in our power rankings, top 10 personalities on golf YouTube. How about Bubby Golf?
You make me so goddamn proud.
What a personality. I mean, this is one of the most charismatic people you will ever meet. Just has a lot of natural energy for life. And he's just one of those people that I had the chance to meet him at the Good meetup in Chicago in 2022 last year. And sure, it's his hometown, so maybe he was the crowd favorite, but there's just this reverence, appreciation, love for Bubby that just has a different texture to it. Bobby. And it's earned. He is someone who just has that natural camera presence. I was talking to a source of mine and heard about on one of Bubby's trips with Garrett. They were doing some brand deals and they had some obligations with a brand, and one of the brand representatives said, "We need more Bubby." Like right after they saw him on camera, they said, "We need more Bubby. Let's like extend the deal with this kid." And that's why he's number 3 on the list. What a personality. Shout out Bubby Golf. And number two, we have, drum roll please, Claire Hogle.
Well, okay, anyone can get,
they got a birdie.
Anyone can get lucky with a shot like that. But we're really trying to show our skill here when we make this 20-footer on them. Like back to, right on top of the birdie. That's a flex.
I mean, what a swing, but we're not here to talk about the game. We're not here to talk about that at all. We're here to talk about the, some would say intangibles, the ability to entertain while not hitting a golf ball. That's what we're here for. And Claire is near the top of the list, number 2, because she just makes things entertaining. I don't know how else to say it. You could take a boring golf match, stick Claire right there, and next thing you know, there's just this level of competitiveness and chirping that she just brings out in people.
Yeah. Because it's just embarrassing what I have allowed.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
I opened the door out of pity without realizing that there was a wolf outside the door, you know?
Yep. Okay, here we go. Let's do this one right here.
She's got dry humor, and it's really nice and refreshing, different than some of the other type of humor that you see on YouTube. So Claire, shout out to you, number 2. And speaking of dry humor, earlier we talked about Wesley. What about a match between Claire Hogle and Wesley Bryan? That would be a pay-per-view match, in my opinion. That would be 2 of the greatest trash talkers in the YouTube golf space. I would love to see that. Maybe it happened and I missed it, but if that hasn't happened, it should. Now, coming to number 1. You've all been waiting for this moment. Who is it? Who's number 1 on the personality power list of YouTube golf? A lot of names that haven't been mentioned that I could draw from right now. And there's just none other. There's none other than Robbie Berger himself.
The straw that's really stirred the drink. Now, I'm making a ballsy play. We got tequila pineapples on the way. It's either gonna, yeah. Yep, we sure do. And it's either what we do. It's either gonna help us big time or it'll all fall down. But that's the way I want to go down.
You didn't ask me.
Are you gonna drink it?
No,
Well, then you stay dialed in. I'll have yours.
You know what?
Bobby Fairways of Bob the Sports. Without further ado, this is my first personality power rankings list, and it's hard to put anybody else at number 1. You're talking about a guy who fires out dozens of cameos a day, wishing strangers happy birthday, sending them personalized messages. That alone right there, it's like, okay, so for someone to have such a big demand for cameos, it's because people want to hear from Bobby Berger. It's because of his personality. It's because if you go on Brilliantly Dumb, go on their TikTok, go on their Instagram, and you just pull up any random video of Bob stumbling out, walking out in front of the mirror, talking about how he's banged up, and last night he went too hard, and
yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and get in front of this one. Just not the way we drew it up here this morning. Las Vegas, Nevada. We're at the Bellagio. We could be at the Flamingo. We could be at the Venetian.
Bagels or something about food and some story where there's some character that messed up and somehow it all comes back on Bob being self-deprecating.
I had to go in to buy a printer. 2023. I still don't have a printer. That's on me. Young lady named Jocelyn was terrific, but she had me in a guillotine by the time I walked in there, and she wasn't letting go. I said, Jocelyn, I don't need to be in the TV section. I just bought one last month. She goes, I bet you didn't buy a vacuum, though. Let me show you what Dyson has to offer. Bought a vacuum. I turned to my buddy halfway through. I said, I think I'm falling in love with Jocelyn. He goes, I think you're hammered. Fair assessment. Cheers, Jocelyn. You win this one. No doubt about it.
The guy is just brilliant. The guy's brilliant. He is the best personality in the YouTube golf space, in my opinion. There's a reason for the recent YouTube Golf Championships that Grant had posted, I believe, about a month ago. There's a reason it was hosted by Bob the Sports. There's a reason that Bobby was part of that commentating crew there. It's because he's special talent, comedic genius. And the last thing I'll say about Bobby Fairways is that he missed a couple of videos on the Bob the Sports channel when he was sick, down under the weather. And Fat Perez and Joey Colcuts were traveling to collab with Bryson DeChambeau and I believe Martin Borgmeyer. And I watched those videos and I just couldn't help but think, we need Bob. We need Bob here because the crew is just not complete without Bob. FP, I love him. Joey Colcuts, I love him. You need Bob there to make it all work. And that's why I knew, okay, this guy's special. This guy's really, really special. So shout out Bobby Fairways. That's gonna complete the power list from 1 to 10. Do you agree with this list? Do you not agree with this list? Is there anybody that I mentioned that you're like, huh, maybe they shouldn't be top 10? Or is there anyone that I just totally missed? Comment down below, would love to hear your thoughts. The golf YouTube space has a lot of great personalities. It's in great hands, and it's just fun as a viewer to sit back and watch and be treated to entertainment that, at least from my perspective, it rivals what we see in professional golf. That's gonna wrap it up here. Again, I'm Dougie from the Golf Clan. Thank you so much for watching this video. Go ahead and slap that subscribe button and let me know if I should do a part 2 to this video. Trying out something different here, talking about the personalities. I know it's a little bit subjective, you know, who do you personally like watching, but at the end of the day, let's just appreciate that we got a lot of entertainers in this space, and it's a great time for YouTube golf. So cheers to that, and I'll see you in the next video. What a list. Bobby Fairways, Claire Hogle, Bubby Golf, Joey Coldcuts, Garrett Clark, Micah Morris, Mr. Short Game, Wesley Bryan, Luke Peavy, Segudo Golf. Maybe I should have done some honorable mentions, but that's a strong list.